shown you this model before. It's important for a lot of reasons. Here you can see where the eyes match up to the target line. But I want you to pay attention to the extension of the handle. It's really what I'm showing in this video. At address, it goes through your center of gravity, but at impact, it's out in front of your torso. All great ball strikers do this as it moves the hands forward and gives you the proper shaft leans. Most people do this. The hands aren't forward enough and the levers are released too early. You don't get the proper figure 7 that Mike Austin used to talk about, the maximum lever. From this top view, it's even clearer. The hub is the left shoulder. An extension of the handle will basically slap you in the left side. It's a pendulum effect. And we can add to the speed of the pendulum, not by pushing at X with the right arm, but pushing at Y. That's added speed and a push pendulum effect, which gives you maximum power and achieves the figure 7 that everyone's trying to get. So how do we do it? We start with this drill. We'll give you the idea of where the handle needs to be, and it's not a massive twisting motion. In fact, you'll get extreme power by making this move. You can see here that my handle would be just slightly in front of my left torso. It's not a massive hip turn. In fact, if you keep a stable lower body and push at Y with your right arm, you'll have maximum leverage. It's a concept that can't be denied. Geometry itself can't be denied. If I follow with my hands down this red line, the club head will travel on the yellow line. It's the exact same pattern every single pro has. So combine the hand motion of the downswing along with getting the handle and your hands up to your front heel line, where the handle extension will hit you in the left side, and add the right arm push at Y, and you'll have the perfect 7. It's not new. All teachers have tried to show us this. It's simply achieving the longest lever at the right moment. It's basic physics. It's the magic number 7. So do the drills. Address to impact. Got one of the longest hitters and one of the straightest. Both successful in their own right. Simply understanding what they're doing gives you the knowledge to do it as well. You'll start to feel it. Why wouldn't we mimic the best? It's not a twisty motion. It's not hip driven. All pros really make these moves. It's just that we tend to exaggerate them, going outside the range of motion, causing all our issues. Joint range of motion could be addressed by what's called Euler's angle. It's basically math used by some biomechanic engineers when they do their algorithms for modeling the golf swing. Euler's angle is basically a spiral, or here it can be represented as a screw motion. If you think about it and add this screwing motion to each joint and then add those together, you can get the total sum of power that those joints are capable of generating. But they must be in the right order: ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, elbow, and then finally the wrist and hands. If you do that and wind them in that order, you must also unwind them in the same order from bottom to top. When you do that, you'll get this geometry which is basically the hand path down this red line and the club path following the yellow line. Every single pro golfer has this geometry. So proper spiraling leads to great ball striking.
Spiral the joints
in the right order for both straight and long.
It's really as easy as if your joints do the screwing motion, they tighten and then they unwind. So you can even imagine each joint to add power, extra power, wind them up. So I'm going to wind my ankle, my knee, all right, my hip, my right hip. Then I'm going to do my shoulder. Then I'm going to go to my elbow. And then I go to my wrist. And then I just unwind from the ankle up. And I'll get that pattern that I'm talking about. It's automatic. In other words, I'm not pulling my hands down that line like that violently, which everybody does. I'm getting that pattern simply by screwing and unscrewing the joints in the right order. And it's that simple. So it's a cohesive way of looking at the golf swing. Euler's angle has to do with math, but it's basically a spiral pattern, which I've spoken about before. Spirals are natural. This aid is only to help you get the right feel for what your forearms need to do. You don't over-rotate. I also want you to take note of Mo Norman in that last clip I showed you. There's a stripe around his chest. And then there's also a stripe around his bicep. So if you notice, that bicep stripe is almost as if it's in a track of the chest. So it moves this way as he straightens his arm. So that stripe of the bicep, if you wind the joints up right, that stripe stays in the track of the chest as the chest turns. So the order won't change of your ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, elbow, wrist. That doesn't change. But you get the order right and then unwind. Or simply imagine this stripe that he showed on his shirt staying in the track of the chest. And that's a great image as well. And what that does is it gives you proper motion. So you get very free movement in just a wonderful repeating pattern. You can see that this aid is telling me that I'm in the same place every time here, and I'm in the same place every time here, with this pointing back down towards the target line. So I'm on plane each time without thinking about it. The push pendulum, everybody throws down from the top, but you really want to go to Y, which is here. You're passive to here, and then literally your elbow straightens and throws late. So you can even do one-handed drill and throw really late and get the right patterns. So any one of those thoughts works. It's a cohesive idea that puts everything, every other method, it makes it all make sense. At least it did for me. So you spiral. and spiral. So the golf swing becomes as simple as wind and unwind, spiral and unspiral. Add power to each joint if you lack power. And get a repeating swing that entails all of the things I told you about. So you get the shaft lean, it's automatic. That angle down is automatic. You get the 5 inches of club being straight, which is only this far. That's Mo Norman. He played the ball basically inside his heel, and his club, because of what he's doing, stays straight for this 5 inches right here. That's why he's so straight. Take the slack out of the left-hand lever so that you have the longest lever, so you don't have a bend in it, you have it straight. So all of these ideas become one. And suddenly you become a ball striker, and these aids don't mean anything other than this check on how you're doing, some feedback. So this is called the power package, and really it's just telling me that you're on the right path with what I'm telling you about the joints unwinding, spirals. You know, straight lines don't exist, but from this view it would look like a straight line. If I'm spiraling, my hands come down that line, boom. I've got the lean, the way the club was built, everything becomes automatic. Then you come up into the finish. So golf no longer becomes hard. Golf becomes easy, because finally you can repeat and you look like a superstar with your swing. You're in balance. All the issues go away.
You're able to accelerate from a standing position like this, from address. It teaches you to accelerate through the strike. In addition, the spiraling pattern allows for a straight line weight shift between your feet. Every single pro has this line. It's the most efficient way of transferring weight and hitting a golf ball. It's the same pattern that we have when we throw or bat a ball.
So how do you get this weight transfer? Well, oddly enough, it's quite easy. If you have a line on your tile floor or cement driveway like here, just put your feet on that line, and then if I pretend I have a box or a weight, I turn to the right and put that over my right foot, just like this. You'll feel weight here underneath your right foot. So this foot spirals. Okay. Now it's easy to feel the weight under your right foot. Simply shift your weight, the dantian, which is right underneath your center. Shift it to your left foot. Now all you have to do is rotate the shoulders in the circle pattern, and you'll end up with the perfect swing. It's that simple. You'll get the perfect weight balance and shift and the right sequencing, and your head will stay perfectly still. It's that simple. There's nothing else to it. You can step on this line and do the same exercise, and you can really feel that weight drawing that line. And then it's the shoulders 7 to 1, and that's going to give you that heaving feeling and motion. Come up into your finish, you'll pull up by just the weight alone, that weight transfer. That's one way of doing it. So feel the weight, and then come up on top. Your head stays stable at the point of the strike, which is be right here. You can put a straw in your mouth, keep it down towards your right foot, a la Hogan, and you'll get that weight transfer and then the shoulder circle. Top is where it's all from here, circles, okay? So you can slide that weight, so you spiral. You can slide as Hogan did a little bit, not much, and then turn. Or, as Como does, just do it from the top, and that's how I do it too. Spiral into this leg, and then I turn the top, and everything just happens. It's very stable, your weight just shifts. You can do it Hogan's way. A little more slide, and then I practice that. I can get a little more distance with this momentum as well between the feet, getting that weight shifting. Allows me to really feel this, that circling. So 2 ways of doing it. So try it.